Servant, Season 2, Episode 3, Pizza. I'm Joe. Please subscribe to this channel. This was a great episode. Wild at the end what happened. It's just as good as it was in the first season, if not even a little bit better. This was the episode where they're trying to find Leanne, and they're desperately trying to find Leanne. And one of the leads is this big house, this big compound-sized house with a locked gate that nobody's leaving. And in the beginning of the episode, Julian's staking it out, and someone pulls up to the door in a bike and leaves a message, and they're all freaking out, like, what's the message say? What's the message say? Thinking it's going to be some kind of something to do with a cult or something like that. And the message is a Chinese food restaurant menu, which leads to them getting the idea to open a delivery service for food, as they call it, Jesus Crust, so they could get a pizza in to get into that house to see if that is one of the houses that Leanne is at, because that is one of the leads of possible places that people have seen a girl matching the description of Leanne. That is where she is. Toby, they sent him to find her, and what happens there is the setup for the next episode, and absolutely wild. Again, one of the reasons why I love this show is because that's what happened in the episode. 30 minutes, and that's what happened in the episode. But all the little things and character moments and things they said that happened in between are what make the show so great. But it's just like, just a little tiny something happens. Let's explore it for 30 minutes. The show, first of all, starts off a shot of a room, a crazy person's investigation wall. And I watched it again. I'm like, what is that? Is that somebody else who was investigating this story years ago? But I'm pretty sure it was Dorothy's crazy person investigation wall, where she had all stories about the cult of the Church of the Lesser Saints and May Markham and the Have You Seen Leanne and the photos of her up. And it just looks like just an insane person's wall. Moving along to later in the episode, where she's having a conversation with Sean, and she has crazy eyes. I can't believe you're doing nothing but making hummus. So you're just getting the sense that she's insane, that she has lost it. She's having they said in the first episode of the first season, full psychotic break after the death of Jericho. But now she seems like she's actually gone psycho. Her story was mixed with a flashback to her on bed rest, and that just led to the story of her. It led to the little moments of Sean saying, why can't you just be a normal person and do nothing? To then the fire alarm going off, and she has to act, and she has to leave her bed rest, and she has to go down the stairs to put out the fire on the kitchen. It's just a story showing about how she's not one to sit around and wait. Her obsession, her call to action, how she will do something. But at the same time, it goes against what happens at the end of this episode. She handled it, she said, when she went down the stairs even though she wasn't supposed to. But in reality, she was supposed to. No one else was home. There was a fire in the house. She had to go down the stairs. Even though Sean came in the door a few seconds later, she doesn't know that. She had to act. She's convinced she has to act again. So it's a juxtaposition. It's showing how she had to act in that flashback and how she feels she has to act now. The issue is that she doesn't have to act now. She doesn't realize that this is not her son, that her son is dead, that she's trying to find a baby that's not hers. And her obsession with this situation, mixed with the fact that she has to act, she's a woman of action, mixed with the fact that we have the crazy eyes and the wall of obsession, and the episode ends that after Toby, as a delivery guy, brings a bunch of pizzas to this house for kids after a soccer game, and we learn that Leanne is taking after a family that the mother looks like she's dying of cancer. Leanne helping these people, I guess. Leanne's panicked. She doesn't realize Toby is with them and that pizza business was a front. She just figures Toby's a delivery person. Why not? So she calls and orders her own pizza, to which Dorothy makes, because Sean says, oh, she wants to feel like she's doing something. Total BS. She poisons the pizza. And when Leanne realizes that Toby is there and they know she's there, she stands up, collapses, and Dorothy says, "You have entered into the house of a private residence and drugged the girl with pizza. Put her in the back of your car and bring her here." She has gone full psycho. But before that, there's a couple indications, and that is that Leanne says she had to leave. She couldn't be around Dorothy anymore because she was selfish, cruel, and mean. Dorothy leaves after hearing that, and Sean goes and says she doesn't mean it. And Dorothy says something to the effect of, "People want to get close to me, and I don't have room for them." And the jealousy happens. It happens to her all the time. Was she always crazy? Was she always at least a sociopath? Because she clearly is selfish, cruel, and mean. And this is a behavior that a lot of people want to be friendly with her because she seems so nice, and then you learn she's not. But she pushes them away. Well, maybe they get pushed away by her behavior, just like Leanne got turned off by her behavior. And it brings into the question, was she always like this? Was there a full psychotic break that made her what she is now? Or was she always a sociopath? Was she always cruel and selfish and self-centered? Did everything always revolve around her? But great episode. Very Dorothy-centric episode. Very odd that they're the ones looking for her because they want their baby back, but there's no real baby involved that's even theirs. So it's almost like Leanne's really the hero. I don't know. I don't know where they're going with it. I don't know what's going to happen in the next episode, which is called 2 o'clock. I didn't realize, and I say this because I've kind of switched over to Roku's and they have a Apple TV app for Roku. I didn't realize you can put a FaceTime call through Apple AirPlay up to your Apple TV. I saw an article about how this show is like a great ad for the technology of Apple. They're walking around with iPads, they're answering phone calls on iPads, they're always FaceTime calling, FaceTime call on the television. There was like a home pod at one point in her little crazy space. Apple's all over this show. This episode, though, didn't really peek too much into the overarching story about who Leanne is, who the cult is. It really was just a very basic, let's get her back to the house story and showing the determination of Dorothy and maybe making you think that Dorothy is completely psychotic. She's certainly a sociopath. Was she like this before the baby? Was it all the various miscarriages she had, or was she just always a rotten person? We don't know. And the other thread in this episode was the basement, the crack in the basement, the water in the basement, what's happening with that. Let's see what happens with Leanne. She was hanging out with a family where the mother was dying with cancer. Was she going to heal that mother? We don't know. Let's see what happens. Let's see what the story is there. Very excited for the 4th episode. And this was a great episode. Great blockbuster ending. Great shock twist ending that she poisoned Leanne. I thought she looked pregnant for a moment, Leanne, but she just wears very, very loose clothes. Which is why I thought she stood up and passed out. I thought it was going to be that she was pregnant and she got shocked from them finding her, but then you found out she was poisoned. Fantastic episode. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to our channel. Until next time, I'm Joe.